Hey everyone, welcome back to Blooms and Brushstrokes. Whoa, I've had a hiatus. My apologies. If you watched the previous video, you will know kind of what happened with this summer and why I was on a bit of a painting hiatus. I've been missing painting so very much, but I wasn't feeling a couple things. I didn't feel like I had the time to produce good content. And I also wasn't feeling extremely creative in the painting world. I was very busy with my garden and growing flowers and all that stuff. Plus having quite a big change of life with my partner and I splitting. So today I have a few hours where I've got time. So I thought, why not get on here and just get into it? So my apologies, you guys. As I've said before, I'm really sorry that I wasn't able to keep up with the content. I think next summer it'll be different because I won't be going out to the farm. But if I feel it's going to be too much, I'll probably just take a break if I don't get some content created before the summer comes where I can put something out, whatever. But I'll communicate that a little bit better than I did this year. It was my first summer and anyways, it was challenging. Plus I had all these things happen, you know, between a fire, my dad had an incident, my relationship ending, all this stuff. Anyways, doesn't matter. Today I'm very excited to get into doing a painting with you guys. So as I said in the previous video, I was interested in doing something for Thanksgiving because here in Canada, it's on October 10th is when Thanksgiving is. So I thought, hey, let's do a cute little picture of this pumpkin. I will post it so you guys can take a screenshot of it. I think I will continue to pre-draw out the painting that we're going to do just because it takes up so much time. But if you guys have any questions at all about how I did something, anything like that, shoot me a message and you can send a message on here or you can send me an email, KURSULESCU@hotmail.com. That's my first initial and my last name. But yeah, without further ado, you guys, let's get cracking because I'm excited to get into the paints. This will just be a fun little tutorial and bear with me. I have not touched paint since I did the cone flowers and I haven't done a tutorial since, what is it, May maybe was the last one that I did. So I'm going to be rusty. Bear with me, please and thank you. And yeah, I mean, we all got to start somewhere. And as artists, we take breaks. Sometimes we have, you know, block. We are not creative. That's kind of how I felt this summer. I wasn't creative paint-wise, but I was very creative working with flowers and the cut flowers in my garden and making arrangements and all that stuff. So I'm excited, but this is my first one since whenever the last tutorial was. So we're going to be using the Yarka St. Petersburg paints. This set here. We're going to use a variety of paintbrushes. I love my number 8 round. That's an Aqua Elite. I'll probably use that for the majority of it. Maybe a little bit of this 10 Aqua Elite Princeton. We're also going to be using our Micron Archival Ink Pens to do the final details, and perhaps if we're feeling into adding a little gold in there, we can, but I'm not gonna promise that because we're just getting into the painting. So first I want to get the painting down and then we'll see what happens. So if you're following along, sketch out a pumpkin with a couple of leaves and some vines, and you know, sketch that out and let's get ready to rumble, you guys. All right, here it is, you guys. Here is the pumpkin. So I think what we'll start with, and so I've drawn this on very dark so that you guys can see the actual drawing. But if you guys were drawing this, again, I should have reminded you, but don't draw your lines as dark as I have. I can use this eraser. Oh, I forget what this is even called, this eraser. But anyways, we can go and like pick up some of that pencil if we want, but I'm not too concerned. I mean, this is just for fun and we're just getting back into it. So I'm not too stressed about having the lines in there. Plus we're going to be going over it with with the Micron ink at the very end, so we can really deal with a little bit of that, and that'll kind of mask it. But anyways, if you drew them as dark as me, that's fine. Again, we're going to be going over it with the Micron pen. All right, so I think what we'll do is we're going to start with the leaves in the background, these ones here. And we're just going to drop down. I am going to use my number 8 round Aqua Elite Princeton brush. I love this brush. It's so great. So we're just going to put down a wash. And so we're going to do wet on wet. And we're going to start with our lightest color. So I'm going to do the leaves in, you know, maybe a beige, a greeny, and some like maybe red, like fall colors. So we'll start with this one over here. And that one I'm going to do kind of in a browny beige, I think. And so we're just going to we're going to use the yellow ochre, which is the 5th color in, as our wash color. So I'm just spray down my paints with my water bottle here, you guys. Get them activated. I should have done that before. All right, so we're going to do the wet on wet. So we're going to put down some water first on this one. And it can be very loose. This is going to be kind of like a bit of a, not whimsical, but I should have maybe done some background color. But anyways, doesn't matter. We'll splatter some paint on there and color good after. So then we're going to take the paint. And we're going to want it pretty diluted because this is just our first pass over. So quite a bit of water. And then we can just drop some of that down and just let it, just let that color kind of go all throughout there. And that's good. So we're going to hit some more color into this here, but I don't want it to be as wet. So we're going to let it dry a little bit first. So we're going to move into this next one. Okay, the next one is going to be red tones. So we're going to drop down some color. You can leave a little bit totally dry. So we can leave maybe around this tip. We can just leave it a bit dry so that it stays white. Just a little bit. So because this one I want it to be a bit reddy, kind of browny reds, I'm going to go in with the burnt sienna, which is this one here. I'm going to go in there and as our drop down color. Ooh, that's a lot, but that's okay. Ooh, I like that color. That's what I was feeling like. How fall does that feel? Feels pretty good to me. I'm loving the fall colors right now. It's so beautiful here in Saskatchewan. The one thing about being in Saskatchewan is that we really do get to experience all the seasons in full force. So I love that. I can see that this one's still pretty wet. So I'm going to leave the beige one for a minute yet. And then I'm going to move on to the green one. So again, wet on wet. I'm just kind of going to leave this area a bit white. And then I'm going to go on there with my olive green, which you guys have seen me paint with that one a lot as the base. And it's, I mean, there's a lot of pigment here, but I'm just going to dilute it out. And let's kind of have fun with that. So this one's going to have some, it's just going to be fun colors, but fall kind of, fall vibes. I think that looks really good so far. Just see there's like a little bit of a puddle there. So I'm just going to lift up some of that water just with a teeny little bit of paper towel. I just want to go in there with like a little bit more, you know, a little bit more intense color. Maybe just to go into the browns a little bit more. So beside that, there's a raw sienna. I'm going to use a little bit of that mixed with the yellow ochre, or however you pronounce that, I don't know. And so I'm just going to go and drop a bit more of that in there. And not too much. You just want to give it a little bit of the effect of having more, you know, having some more color than it just being flat. I think that looks really pretty. Cool. And then we'll just continue on to the next, to the red one. And so the red one, I'm going to use I'm going to use Scarlet. It's a pretty true red. So I'm going to use that one to give this some of that real, and I'm just dropping it in, and that's okay. I got a little bit in the green, totally cool. I like that, you guys. It's already looking so pretty. Cool. And then for a green one, I'm going to go in with the Russian green, which is one of my tried and true favorites. And again, just dropping in some of that color as much as you want. If you want to see a lot more green, like darker green, put as much as you want in there. It's all good. I put more dark green down in this part because it's going to give the illusion of like a shadow, or the look of a shadow, because it's coming from behind the pumpkin. So then with our beigey one, I'm going to take a darker brown. So I'm going to use the Mars brown and just put a little bit of that dark brown in there as well. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. Very nice. Whoopsie daisy, I'm bumping that. My bad. I think those look really good. So with the red one, I think I want to add a little orange in there. So I'm going to use it's called Titans. I think that's what I have written there. It's hilarious. I can't even read my own writing. Quite a bit of pigment on my paintbrush. And I'm just going to drop some of that in there. Just for that extra fall-y kind of goodness. Loving that. And then in the green one, I'm actually going to put a little blue in there. I'm going to use a little bit of turquoise. I don't know. I'm just feeling that kind of, I don't know. I don't know why, but I am feeling that. So I'm just going to drop a little in there. Oh yeah, I like it. So off to the side, we have it would be like the vine that's coming off a pumpkin. So I'm going to go down with the burnt sienna, or sort of the raw sienna to start with. And I'm just going to drop that. I'm just going to start my line with that. And I'm just going to kind of make it kind of just whimsical. And cute like that. We can add in a little bit of that olive green now. And I'm not going to dilute it too much. And I'm just going to toss a bit of that in there with with that raw sienna. I think that looks pretty cute so far. Okay, next up we're going to the pumpkin, you guys, which is gonna be, we're gonna go classic orange with the pumpkin. But of course we're gonna drop down a few layers of, and different colors, because of course there's like shadow and all that good stuff. So we're gonna start with that. We're gonna drop some down, some water, and we're gonna actually do something a little bit crazy. We're gonna do a classic orange pumpkin, but we're gonna do, we're gonna have a little bit of a blue in the background to kind of neutralize it a little bit. I did see this technique, somebody else using it, and it is honestly, I'm a self-taught watercolor artist, and I saw this technique with something else that they did, and I'm like, ooh, it's like basically using the complementary color as the base, which might be a bit advanced, but I don't care. So I'm gonna do the cobalt blue, this one here. I'm gonna put a little bit of that down to start with as our base. This is gonna look good, I can tell. Which is gonna neutralize some of that orange when we put that orange down. Plus it's also gonna give some shadow, which is cool. So I'm gonna just work my way around the pumpkin a bit and drop down some water and some of that blue. And then we'll work with these kind of before they totally dry up with adding that orange in there. Well, we want it to be pretty dry, but we don't want it to be totally dry. A little bit of dryness to help so that the colors don't blend too much. This is kind of like a new little technique for both of us here, so for all of us. So let's bear down and just have fun with it, but I'm sure this is like, if I was professionally taught art, this would probably be something I would be taught in art school, but because I'm not, it's fairly new to me, but I like the idea. So, you know, blue and orange are complementary colors on the old color wheel. If you don't know that, there's lots of YouTube videos about that kind of stuff. It is the color opposite on the color wheel. So we have our primary colors, and then the color opposite of it on the color wheel is the complementary color. And if you were to mix blue and orange together, it kind of neutralizes it, neutralizes the color, which will give us kind of a brownie look, which is cool. But also we're going to be putting down enough orange that we're going to see that orange. It's just going to make it look a little less, it's just going to look a little bit more, I don't want to say muted, but maybe more natural is the, Anyway, we're trying it out for fun. If we're not learning something, what the heck are we doing, hey? That's kind of where I'm at these days. Those look good. I like it. Okay, so we are going to go in, actually, I think I'm going to drop in with a bit of a, I'm going to bump it up to the cadmium orange, a little bit brighter orange, just because we do have that base now down there, which is going to be kind of fun. So that one's almost totally dry. So we're going to go down, and again, yeah. So we're just going to go over that same, oh yes, like how, and then that's creating that look of the shadow. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to be amazing. So I'm going to dilute my brush a bit, and I'm just going to drag around that color. Ooh, I'm loving that. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit more orange and kind of go around the edges. Oh, that is beauty. You see, it's what created that look of shadow where it neutralized. And then we have that undertone. Oh, I think that looks incredible. So we're using the same, actually, let's go with the golden orange on this one. Let's just try a few different ones. Same kind of technique. So this one's just a bit brighter orange. Oh, like I'm loving that, you guys. I think that looks incredible with that little hint of blue in there. I love that. Yeah, we'll go with that cadmium on this one as well. Whoops. Oh, that's so pretty. I would love to know what you guys think about that little technique there. This is the first time I'm trying it, so we'll have to try some other colors in future paintings because, you know, the complementary color to red is green and the complementary color to yellow is purple. So yeah, anyways, lots of fun things we can play around with that one. This one I could have almost went like a bit more. Oh, that's pretty wet. A little bit darker blue because it's really shadowed back here, but that's okay. I'm going to go in with the Titan orange. So that's a really deeper orange in there. Oh, I love that. I think I might actually drop a little bit of that in there. Titan orange, just for fun. And then on this one, we'll do some golden orange. So we're gonna let those dry up. We've got to start thinking about our stem, which the stem is gonna be kind of browns and then like some beige as the base to create depth and then some green. So I think I'll go in with that yellow ochre. We'll do that. I'm going to be careful of that, but that's okay if it bleeds a bit. So we're going to do wet on wet again. There's a little bit of that color on my brush because I dip down into that first, then wet my brush, but that's okay. It's a good base color. You can see that bleeding. It's totally fine. I'm going to let that dry. I want these to be totally dry before I go and put down more blue for these ones. And I just want to be totally dry so we get different dimension, different pop, because a pumpkin and it's bumpy. And so I think if we let these totally dry and then don't let them completely bleed into each other, we'll get a little bit more of that with that going on there. So I think so far everything is looking really, really good. This would be a kind of time if you were thinking you wanted to go in and tweak any of these leaves or add more dimension into them, you could really do that right now. I don't think I'm going to. I think I'll just leave it the way that they are because I think you can sometimes overwork them. So, although I kind of feel compelled to put a little brown in this one. Let's go for it. We're going to use the Mars Brown. And dilute it quite a bit. I don't even really know where I want to put it. Just a little bit. I think that's good. I don't want to do too much. I don't know why I felt the need to do that, but I just felt it. It's okay if the color bleeds a bit, but we just don't want it to be too oversaturated where we lose the dimension. You can see there's a bit of color running. That's okay. And I'm going to use the cobalt blue. Just moistening my paints a little bit again. Oh, that's really wet. I'm just going to lift up a little bit of that water that I dropped down. It was just like a little too much. And I did leave part of it dry. So it's going to give that look of shine or light. Lee, what did I do here? I don't know. I didn't even notice that there was so much paint down there or so much water. So maybe still just a little bit too wet, as you can see, which I got just a little too excited, which is fine. I just don't want to lose the shape of the pumpkin and the little sections because I'm too excited about putting down more blue. So we're just gonna let that dry, you guys, because obviously it's just a little bit too wet still. So I guess one thing that we can do a little bit more of is like, we can kind of play around with the vine, and we can add even a little bit more. I'm kind of feeling that vibe. Oopsie. So I'm just adding a little bit more vine coming off that, because why not? So I use the yellow ochre, a little of the raw sienna, whoops. And then some of the olive green again. Oh, yeah, I like that. We're going to work on this back one because it's dry back here. And we're going to do the same thing with the blue. I'm really loving the effect of that. And I really like the look of the blue popping through, like where you can still see some of the blue. Like I think that looks really kind of fall-ish as well. Okay, that's cool. We're just going to let those dry up a bit more. Then we'll go in with this one. I did the just wet on dry with this blue, just to get a bit more of that true deep blue. Perfect. I think we're ready to roll here with the pink. I'm going to go in with the cadmium orange. So pretty bright orange. Oh, I like the depth of that. This one's dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the I'm going to use some of the Titan orange, but I'm going to mix a little bit of the raw sienna into it just to kind of tone it down a bit. So it's just a little deeper kind of orange, but a little bit more browny orange. And then we're just going to kind of, add some detail like that. Into our pumpkin. some orange on this one here. So I'm going to go in with the cadmium orange. So nice bright orange here. And lots of pigment. Just like that. That one's kind of nice. It's just a little more depth. A little like that. That's going to be it for that one. This one over here, I think I'm going to do the golden, but I'm going to mix a little bit of yellow into it just to make it a bit brighter. See what happens there. I mean, we don't want to go too yellow because then the yellow and blue together will make it go greeny, which we don't want. Well, I mean, that would look cool too, but for the sake of keeping things a bit simple, we don't want to overdo it in all the colors today. I mean, I kind of want to, but I also don't want to ruin this because we're having fun with it right now. Or I'm having fun. Hopefully you guys are too. I'm really loving the look of that. And then our last one, I guess it's not our last one, we have that little guy over there. I want to do quite a deep, so I'm going to do the Titan. I'm going to mix that with some of the Mars brown though. So it's going to be a deeper orange color because we're going to be getting more shadow over here now. That's a bit wet. You can do that with this one back here too. I like that. I really love the different, you know, dimensions of orange and different tones and stuff. I think it looks really pretty. I'm going to go in with a bit of the cadmium orange just to brighten it up a bit. I love the depth though. Like I love that, all that shadow in there, and I think that looks great. I might take a little bit of that Mars brown and Titan that I mixed together. This, and just add a little bit of, just tone down some of the brightness on this one here. Which is all fine. They're all going to be different anyway, so I think that looks really fun, you guys. Well, I'd love to know what you guys think about that technique and what you're thinking about that pumpkin so far. I think it's looking pretty groovy. So I'm going to let these dry and then put the lines in those. We can work on a bit of depth in the stem here. So I'm going to go in with some green. I'm going to do olive green mixed with some of that Russian green. And we're going to work, oh gosh, I'm bumping this all over. We're going to just work on some of the lines that are in there. I don't want it to be too vibrant, but I also want us to be able to see it. I don't want to do too many passes over it. So, you know, woody, that's a wet brush. That's okay. And just give us a little fun in there. Again, we're going to use the Micron ink pen at the end here, so we'll get all our fine details with that. I'm also going to mix a little bit more brown in the stem, so I'm going to use a bit of that raw sienna. No, actually I'm going to switch it up. I'm going to use the Mars brown. And I'm going to dilute quite a bit of it, but I'm going to run it up a bit with the green. Cool. I think we'll leave that at that because I can see, you know, we can easily get pretty crazy with all the color up in here. Just picking up a little bit of that pigment, and then we'll just put the details in with our Micron pen. So I'm just waiting on these ones to dry, which we can do. So I'm mixing the Titan with the Mars Brown to give that a bit of a deeper orange for our lines. Oops. For some of the lines in here. I'm just gonna have to move this a little bit, you guys, because the angle is awkward for me. Guys, it looks incredible. I love it. We're gonna let all that dry. We are going to put on our Micron pen, and then we're gonna splatter some paint on there because I'm ready for some paint splattering is what I'm ready for. But we're doing our Micron 01 pen, this beauty. And we're gonna start with the dry leaves because those are dry and we can let this all dry. So again, loose and kind of free flowing with the Micron pen. To just give us a little detail. And it doesn't need to be too much. There are no rules. You make your own rules when it comes to art. I mean, there's some basic foundations. Oh dear, what happened here? There's some basic foundations and you, oh, I don't know what's happened here. Sorry guys, my pen is, there we go, had paint on it. You create what you want. So if you want straight lines, and you want squiggly lines, or you want lots of lines, or you don't want any lines, do whatever your heart desires, honestly, because it's your art, and don't let anyone or anything discourage you from getting out there and just creating. So what I do in my paintings is just for inspiration. I gotta spin this, you guys. It's just for inspiration. And whatever you do, I mean, I have yet to see one of you guys send me a painting. I don't even, I guess you'd have to send it to my email address, but I haven't even seen anybody's painting. So I know some people are following along. So do you? If you want to send me something, I would love to see so much. And if you don't want to send them to me, that's totally fine too. But I would love it. I would absolutely love to see what you guys are up to and how it's going. And as I've always said, I just want this to be like a really inspiring community where we just encourage and inspire each other and get us all to be more comfortable in our creativity and what we're up to. So I'm here to support you guys, and I feel our community is pretty awesome. You guys have been so gracious in my with me having a little hiatus happen and all that stuff. So I think everybody here is pretty cool. So okay. I'm just gonna put a few lines off these ones just because they look just too perfect compared to all the line work and everything else. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of extra line work off the veins and the leaves just because everything else has a lot of line work in it. So keep it kind of consistent. All right, guys. So that's going to do it there. Look at that. It's so cute. I'm just going to put my initial with the year. And yeah, that looks great. I really do love it. I think it's very, very cute. I'm not going to do any more work because that's going to be too much. Okay, so now it's the fun. We get to go in and put down our splatters. So I'm going to do some of the, oh, do we want to go gold? Oh, let's get up the gold because I haven't used that in so long. That's silver. Okay. Remember these you guys? The Winsor Newton gold ink. Okay, this is how we're going in with the gold. I thought about doing the gold gold leaf, but that's too intense for this. So let's go in with the gold ink and splatter it on there. I'm not going to do gold line work. I just want to add some splatters in this. So you got to shake it up really good. This stuff settles in incredibly well, and I haven't used it in so long. Okay, ooh, this is so fun. I'm going to get out my #1 script pen for this, or paintbrush for this. I'm going to get it wet. So this is the #1 script. And then, oopsies, we're going to load up on there. And I'm going to do quite a bit like around the bottom. I don't know. I just feel like it's just too plain down here. So I'm going to put quite a bit down here and then light up top. But I'm going to do big clumpy bits down here. I don't know. I have this vision in my head. They're not as big as I want them to be. I need a bigger brush. Yes, there we go. Ooh, I love that. Okay. And then we're just going to like lighten up the gold to the top. So just like lighter. Oh my God, I love it. All right, you guys, that is going to do it for our first tutorial back in action. The pumpkin. I think it is so cute. It's still wet, so I'm not going to hold it up too high because I don't want those gold drops to be going everywhere. So cute. I absolutely love it. Thank you guys for joining me on the first one back from our hiatus. It's amazing. That definitely got my creative juices flowing for sure. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section. If you have any questions, if you're not really sure of something, comment away, engage. Like, that's amazing when you guys do that. I love that. And yeah, if there's anything that you're thinking you want to see a tutorial of, I know that a dahlia is in order because everybody wanted it. And I actually grew some really beautiful dahlias this summer. And so I have some cute pictures of them so that we can paint them. So I know that was one in order that needs to come down the pipe here soon. But if you have anything you want to paint, if you have anything at all, please feel free to suggest, comment, all that good stuff. And yeah, I will link my sister and I's podcast, if I can do that, in the description if you guys want to have a listen. It's called Sisters Social Call. It's to us girls in our 40s. We talk about anything and everything about life. So if you want to hear more details about my relationship or what happened there, there's an entire podcast on it from a few weeks ago. And we talk about all kinds of stuff. So I'll link that as well. And that's going to do it for me, you guys. So thank you so much for watching, for your patience, for being a part of the Blooms and Brushstrokes community. I totally appreciate you guys immensely. So thank you. And hopefully we can be back onto a weekly schedule of fun painting tutorials, shorts, just paint in general. I'm ready for it. So thank you guys. I appreciate you guys, and we'll see you all very, very soon.